Playtime is no game in the Neon City. Action figures are becoming more accurate, more real, carved by hyper-accurate microlasers made with 100 points of articulation and AI chips custom designed to simulate the character down to the minutest detail. Their realism is unprecedented. This, of course, isn't without consequences. The latest figures released to coincide with the new Toy Story movie, for instance, are programmed to come alive only when no one else is in the room. This was quaint at first, but then they started messing about at night, moving objects around, breaking cups, getting into the liquor. It was too much. I tried to get my Buzz Lightyear to tell me who broke my favorite vape, but to no avail. His poker face was too good. In frustration, I resorted to psychological warfare, undid my belt, and prepared to lay a deuce on that unshakable grin of his. Maybe then he'd be willing to talk. Things were going to plan until my girlfriend walked into the bedroom and caught me squatting over my Buzz Lightyear that she bought me, with my RGB trousers around my ankles and a bowel movement hanging 30% out of its enclosure. She threw me out. I tried to explain, but it was no use. She could never understand. Dissatisfied with my product, I skulk into my favorite bar. Maybe you've heard of it? The Neon City Daily. After dark. Fuck, I nearly cracked.
I know. I saw that. I was wondering whether you were going to get through that, but you got there. You did it, buddy. You did. You did. You managed to talk about shitting on Buzz Lightyear and live to tell the tale.
As we all should. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Neon City Daily After Dark. I'm Jamie.
I'm Nick.
And wow, so much has happened in the last week or so, hasn't it, Nick?
It's everything's been happening, and everything's been happening non-stop.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, let's face it, how could it not in this land of RGB trousers?
It's true. When you're in a future cyberpunk city like the one that we inhabit, everything is RGB. Everything has like a USB port in it. It's just kind of mandatory at this point.
Can I just actually admit right now that lately I have been kind of getting like weirdly into just RGBing things up.
Yeah, because you live in the Neon City.
Solidly. So, I mean, I'm actually looking at starting to just piece together another PC soon.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I've got to get a case first. I went and had RGB cases. And I'm just scrolling down the list on PCCasegear.com.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, there's going to be some here. And then I scroll down, and for some reason, my brain hadn't until that point thought there was RGB cases. Like, it just didn't click.
Yeah.
But then suddenly I saw one, and I was like, wait a minute.
I gotta have this.
Yeah, so I think I'm ending up, looks like I'm going to spend like an extra $40, I think, on a case just to get some sweet RGB lighting in it.
Yeah, I mean, like, so, let's be real. We should be recording the main Neon City Daily Show at the moment, but we're not, because Josh is in the doghouse because he sent his missus to go and buy RGB lights. So, I mean...
Okay, so let's that was actually one of the things I thought was interesting there was he did talk to me earlier on, and because I'd been talking to him about just RGB shit up, he was like, I just bought the RGB lights to do out his like studio man cave thing.
Yeah.
And I fully blame you, and I was just like, I'll take that hit. That's fine. That's all my fault because I've been talking about it.
No, I'm calling bullshit because that man is like a moth to multicolored lights.
Fiend.
He doesn't give it. It doesn't matter if you talk about it, if I talk about it, if he has a dream about it. Maybe he'll see a light turn on in the room and he'll be like, I should RGB that.
Oh, shit.
He is insane with that shit. Like, he won't... Like, there was a point where he just wouldn't shut up about how he was putting RGB on everything to me, and I didn't bring it up. So it is not on you. You are innocent.
But he also, I will point out that he didn't tell me, like, he actually sent me, like, just a screenshot of the list of items that he bought.
Yeah.
And, I think it was only 4 items, but I was looking at those items and I was like, they cost money, and, and he didn't tell me how much it cost. So I almost assumed that's why he's in the doghouse. Not because he got his missus to pick him up. Because he probably spent a lot of money on it.
Well, he was saying that he saved a bunch of money up for them, but I think he didn't communicate that he was saving this amount of money. And so suddenly he just rocks up with like this wad of bills and he's like, these are all going on lights.
Oh, wow. But I mean, Yes.
Yeah.
Poor Josh.
Poor
I did
Jess.
He did. Yeah. I can't remember what he said, but I just told him you'd played a dangerous game.
Yeah.
And yeah, just that's how it is when you're in the life of being married but wanting to spend money on RGB lighting.
Yeah. It's really interesting because
I mean, I'll fully admit that I haven't told my missus about how much my PC I want to put together is going to cost, but necessity.
yeah, it's a work expense.
There we go.
We should take let's take this brief moment to just gossip about our co-anchors while they're not here, and because just thinking like you've got Josh on one end of the spectrum, he will just drop like $400,000 on a really nice light for the underside of his computer that you only see if you pick it up. But then you've got Dave, who's like the antithesis of Josh, who is like he's very, very, very sensible with his money, almost too sensible, I'd say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just interesting how like they're diametrically opposed to each other. They have like different schools of thought on how to buy money for their systems. Spend money on their systems.
Spend money.
Yeah. And it, I don't know. I feel like we should get them kind of having like a little debate. Those are the pros and cons. Like Dave can be like, for not spending more money than you need to, and Josh can be against that. And I think that would be really good. Just like, you know, we get to kind of hear their views on things.
So how about this? How about we set up a debate between the two, and whoever loses, it doesn't matter because we all have to play a match of Rune Classic.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, this is payback for Josh's quiz. It's they have to have a debate, and no matter who loses, we have to play Rune Classic for a bit. We got to stream some Rune Classic.
This is perfect. I'm pretty sure I already gifted Rune Classic to Josh as a joke at one point. So
I 100% am sure that you did that because we were talking about it one night, and he said no, and you said yeah. Boom. So,
Good. I enjoy my consistency with like gifting things that I like to people.
So yeah, that's sneak peek, guys, on what's going to come up on the main show. Maybe before this airs. Shit, I don't know. But
yeah, probably will be before
there we
this
go.
airs.
We gotta. You heard it here second, but technically first.
Yeah, and the best part is because of the way that we edit the podcast, Josh isn't going to know we talk about this until after we do the other podcast. So if he does listen to our podcast, we'll find out. This is how we know.
This is how we know. Yes, I like it. That's you've plotted and you've planned. And I'm
Dude, we flat out schemed today.
That's what we did.
Good.
This is technically a secret meeting of like-minded people.
Yeah, I like how we're going to be the arbitrators of the RGB argument.
Yeah. I'm kidding. We'll figure out how to put that together. So what have you actually been playing anything, Jim?
Yes, I have. I kind of went on a little bit of a RPG bend the other day, and I went back to Pathfinder Kingmaker.
Oh, jeez, yeah,
well, because
okay.
I played it for a while. I got it maybe the start of the year, and I just powered through it for a lot. And
yeah, I know you like hit it hard and fast.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed it. And then I think I visited Tassie. So I was playing it in December, then I went and visited Tasmania for a couple of weeks, and then came back, and I'd fallen off like that hype train, and I just kind of didn't go back to it.
Yeah. Okay.
And then when I did try to go back to it, the game bugged out on me, and I couldn't actually get past the loading screen.
Oh, I remember you mentioning that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it was a driver issue. So I updated all my drivers and stuff and ran the game again, and it's worked. And so I'm trying to remember, like, what did I do in this game? Where am I? What am I after here? I know I have a kingdom, and I'm looking after the kingdom. What's next for the kingdom?
That's hard though. I've been there too many times. I've gone to go back to a game, and I'm just staring at this environment and all these words, and I'm just like,
I am slowly but surely kind of remembering what I was doing in that game. But there is one thing that I just, once you get to a certain point, you become a king. It's kind of implied.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
all of your party and the people who you meet along the way, you can assign them to specific roles in your kingdom.
Yeah.
All good. But I have not found anyone who is a treasurer yet. So
Oh.
my finances aren't great in my kingdom because there are all these events like you need a treasurer, you need to assign a treasurer. No one can be a treasurer. I can't assign anyone to it.
That's the kind of shit that leads to spending millions of dollars on RGB lighting for your castle. You need someone sorting out this expenditure.
Yeah, it's really weird.
So, I mean, yeah, that's odd.
Yeah.
Like, because you'd think, like, if I'm going to have a kingdom, I need to make sure we don't just fall over because I've got $0.
Yeah.
That's one of the priorities you would have thought.
Yeah, I thought maybe like someone will show up eventually, but no one's kind of like popped up and been like, "Hello, my name is Manicus Goldsaverer, and I..."
You're gonna end up with like a shit guy too. When you do find one, your treasurer is gonna be just some shitty scumbag that you don't like, but you're gonna have to take to have a treasurer.
Yeah, I wonder. There's one point in the game where just before you become a baron, you a bunch of people kind of come up to you and they plead their case for basically being like your assistant overseer. And like there's like this noble and there's this guy who's recommended to you by like some other political person and some other dude and blah blah blah. I can't really remember them. And I'm wondering, was one of them meant to be my treasurer? Because I clearly didn't get the right guy if that's the case. I just got some half-orc dude who is like, I'm an okay guy. I generally lead armies. I don't know how money works.
Yeah, that's the problem there. You've gone for the guy you like, not the piece of garbage that you're gonna hate.
I
want to grind into dust.
Yeah, it was weird because I was kind of looking at the other people going like, I don't really like you. I don't really like you. You, I don't also really like, but you were kind of recommended to me by an ally, and I thought, well, I might as well like take this guy in as a favor to them. So if shit goes wrong, I can kind of go like, hey, remember how I took your advice and stuff? I need help now. That hasn't been a factor yet in the game, so I don't know.
Yeah, you got ready for no reason.
But yeah, aside from that, it's a really good game. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it a lot. There's, in terms of stuff that bugs me about the game, I think the overmap, once you get into being a baron and you're looking over your kingdom, the issue I find is like, I'm in the capital and I need to go all the way over here to get to a mission or to do something that I said I would do. And so you watch like this little fucking Monopoly piece just slide across this board and like the day becomes night really quickly and you have to stop and set up camp, right? Which is fine, but it's not quick. You go, your party's tight. Want to set up camp? Yes. Okay. It loads into a screen. Someone's all like, oh, Bob Dilver, you've got big muscles. How'd you get such big muscles? And then Bob Dilver's like, I got the big muscles by fighting 7 bears. And then it goes like, somebody set up tent, somebody set up food, someone's on watch, here are the results of everything, the cook spoiled the hearty meal, okay, go.
Sweet.
And that's fine when you're starting the game and you're going from small place to small place, and so your travel time isn't that long. But when you're going across the continent and you have to stop and do that like maybe 10 or 12 times back and forth, it really wears on you. And I don't know, I can't remember if there was any way to kind of not have to put up with that, but it really seems like it's just a necessary evil in the rule set, and there's nothing I can really do.
Maybe you've been spoiled by Bannerlord.
Maybe. No one needed to really eat in Bannerlord.
Bannerlord, where you literally just rampage around with food in your pockets. And
I kind of wish there was that situation. Like, okay, I get it. It gives you like a little moment where, hey, your party members are talking to each other. It sort of fleshes them out a little bit more. And although like some of the voice lines are really weirdly delivered, so it's kind of like, that one didn't work, that one was okay, blah blah blah. And yeah, you can get a bonus. Like if the cook doesn't spoil the meal, you know, you get you're well rested and you've had a hearty meal.
You're super good mealy foodie thing.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things where really good in small doses, but in big doses, pointless. You maybe encounter like 1 or 2 people on your road to and from your destination. So
Yeah.
it's just a lot of like watching a thing slide. Really, it's like, shh, your party's fatigued. Shh, your party's fatigued. Shh, your party's fatigued. Shh, your party's fatigued.
Yeah, it's a
You're at your destination. So, that's that. I'm getting back into it. I'm hoping to win the game at some point. You know,
Yeah,
I-
actually finish it out.
I think the idea is you build up your
Become
kingdom,
king of
and
the
then
universe.
there's an attack of some kind. It is cool
Yeah.
to have people recognize you as a baron, and so you run into some bandits, and they're just like raiding a caravan, and you kind of walk up, and they're like, "Oh fuck, hey, hi, baron, what if we join you?"
Mm.
And that's one of those things where it's another one of those games where you have to be really careful about who you take in your party, because
Yeah,
everyone's got like a
they'll
very
just steal your
specific
food,
alignment.
leave and shit.
Yeah,
You
and
don't
so
have a treasurer.
yeah, and so like
Yeah.
there's I think her name is Valerie, and she's like this this lawful good knight,
Mm.
and you know sometimes
Sounds like a douchebag. Yeah.
she's okay, but you hit this one point where you go into this guy's house, and he's a scientist, and he's doing some stuff for science. I can't remember what the reason is he's doing his research, but he basically has a troll that he is torturing, and
Right.
so all his experiments basically bring it to the brink of death. It gets back up, and then he dies again, and he's trying to.
Sweet.
He's trying to get like I think it's like some kind of immortality extract from this troll. He's trying to figure out how they're not dying to anything except acid and fireworks.
Yeah, it's a
And-
troll. Yeah.
Yeah, and so you go downstairs and you find this troll. The guy's unabashed about it because he's like, yeah, this is fine. I'm not doing anything illegal. And
yeah.
you know,
It's a thing.
you're
Yeah.
sitting there, and
If I let it out, it'd murder the shit out of you. Yeah.
yeah, but like the troll looks you in the eye, and it's like, just kill me. You know, it's clearly like a sentient thing that's suffering,
Right.
and you're faced with a moral conundrum where like one of your advisors who is like I think he's neutral good or something like that. He's just going like,
Yeah.
this is inhumane. We can't just leave this thing to suffer multiple deaths and torture over and over again. Like
Right.
it's a thinking, feeling creature. This is just, it's inhuman. And then Valerie's like, nah, fuck it. It's just a troll. There's no
It's just
law
a
against
fucking
yeah,
troll.
There's no law
Yeah.
against this. It's fine. And
Yeah.
and then you got this other companion there who was also like, she was a slave, and you liberated her,
No.
and so she's
jeez.
like really sympathizing with the troll.
Don't
And
you understand how sad I am? Yeah.
yeah, and so I'm kind of like sitting there and I'm going, kind of want to just let the troll out or kill the troll, either one. Like I don't
Yeah.
like this guy just fucking torturing this thing over and over again. And
Yeah.
so I make the call. I can't remember what it was. I think I let it go. And the guy's like, oh, this is going to put a hamper on my research. And I'm like, fuck you, I'll save Scummet if I have to. And, you know, obviously, like, the other two are like, you did the right thing there. That was, you know, you showed your humanity. But Valerie's just like, Valerie was just pissed. She's like, who gives a fuck about the troll? It's not. He didn't do anything illegal. There are no laws against holding a troll. It's fine. And
You have no idea how much I was hoping you were going to say that you let it out, and Val immediately went and just wrecked its shit. Like, just went and fucked it up, because that would have been amazing.
no, you didn't actually see it get let out. You basically like told the guy, by order of the Baron, release the troll. Fucking
Yeah.
cut this shit out. And so he had a little grumble, and then you leave. And yeah, Valerie had a little grumble too, because she's like, I don't give a fuck about the troll.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you have to. I tend to be playing a lot of my game kind of like chaotic good for the most part.
Yeah.
And she's just not on board with how I do, you know? She's like, it's gotta be lawful good or nothing.
Lawful good or go home, bitch.
Yeah. So
Oh.
it's hard to play it fast and loose with her in the party. It's like some.
So that is that's kind of one of the good things about playing with an AI character that's like that, though, because they literally have no choice but to scream what they're supposed to be screaming.
Yeah.
Whereas if you play with players, they're like, I'm lawful good, and then they do something that you do something they don't agree with, and they just kind of like, yeah, I can't really, I'm just a player in this game.
Yeah. Yeah, they cut off a guy's head and throw it into a mob.
Yeah, that's it. They
Yeah.
do shit like that, James. And that happens. And
I mean,
then
but it was probably justified.
was it?
I think we got betrayed.
I don't even know.
Because
I
remember,
don't
we went to the tower and then we slayed this guy's thing and we came
We had
back
to
down.
slay a wizard.
Yeah, and after we slayed
We
the wizard,
slayed
the
the
guy
wizard.
who hired us had gone, I slayed the wizard. It was all me, not them. And then when we tried to speak up,
No, he wasn't. It's all me, not them. He was. I hired them. I'm the coolest guy.
no, he did something that made me angry, and it was a betrayal of sorts. And so he had to die.
I'm 100% sure that he was like, I paid them to do it. I'm the best. Yeah, they're only here because of me.
I would not just decapitate a man
You
because he
went.
said I hired them, so I'm pretty good.
No, you didn't. You didn't decapitate him. You chucked the wizard's head that we'd fucking killed.
Oh, I'm
chucked
getting
that
people
in
mixed
there.
up. Well, then that's
Yeah.
extra justified.
You cut a wizard's head off, threw it at the guy that was all like, I hired them, I'm the coolest. Don't even worry about them. They wouldn't be here if it wasn't for me. And you were like, well, guess what, crowd? Receive a severed magical head.
Well, you know what? We can retcon this to make it in character. He was talking way too much
jeez.
about himself, and he wasn't giving enough thanks to whatever DDI was my patron saint, because I was a lawful paladin. So I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah,
It makes sense.
you were a paladin at the time.
Well, I'm glad we worked that out 10 years later.
Yeah, just however long. Good old D&D from fucking 10 years, like 3.5 rule sets.
Those are good times. Whenever we played D&D, we spent a lot of time getting chased out of town, I noticed.
It's because we do dumb shit. And by we, I kind of mean you.
No!
Because I distinctly remember another D&D story where we had to get someone out of a prisoner holding cell
Yeah.
in a town, and I'm a wizard.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, I'm hanging out with the shieldy defendery guy, and you were a fighter, I think, at this point.
Yeah, I think so.
And
I think
we
I
had
had
a sneaky guy on the roof. And your version of sneaking in to get him was to try and get the guards drunk, and then when that didn't immediately work, start punching everyone.
Well, no, that I mean, I had a solid plan, and like, let me just lay out my really good plan that almost worked. I cannot stress enough that it almost worked.
It did, by the grace of dice rolls, nearly get you through.
Yeah, so like the whole idea was, I went to a tavern. I took all the gold I had left over after buying it,
Yeah.
and I just bought a lot of beers. And I had I had a sword for a hand, so I was able to put multiple beers like on the sword and take them out to the guard outpost. And I was like Hosea in Red Dead Redemption, where I was more like, evening fellas, and I got them all fucking shit faced. And so we were getting chummy, and the rogue who hadn't told us what he was planning to do, by the way, was
he was
sneaking
just
along the
flicking
roof,
around,
doing his own thing. And so I got those guys drunk. We became good friends. I was like, hey, can I see what's going on in there? And I rolled a dice, and the guy said, yeah, okay. And then I can't remember what happened, but something got him very suspicious. And I think it might have even been he saw the rogue in the window, and
the rogue was hanging in the goddamn window when he turned to open the door for you.
yeah.
And in that split second, you decided that it was all over and you had to donkey punch him.
Well, I was drunk, so it makes sense. So I was like, all right, I'll just punch him in the back. I'll knock him out. Let me try to knock him out. It's a back attack. Let's just go for it. And I rolled like a fucking 6.
The problem is, right, that you said it, you dumped that dice, and me as the dungeon master at the time looked at you and went, shit, you didn't give me a chance to remind you that you're literally standing in the town square at this door, because it was like right there. It was like in guardhouse.
It's okay. I was drunk. So, and by I mean my character. He was out of his mind. So he's an impulsive guy, you know. He just goes with his gut. He has a large gut. He's just ready for anything. And so
Oh, wow.
he took a shot in the dark and he missed in the dark, and that caused
Yes.
all the guys, not only the guards, but the villagers to
They
attack
were
us
pissed.
for some reason. And
Yeah, because you just started trying to lay out their guard and they didn't want the thing. I can't remember what we were trying
I
to
can't
get.
remember what it was either.
The
But
thing that
anyway,
was locked up, they were like, they're trying to get it.
anyway, so unfortunately, I had to kill that guy because he
Yeah,
started
you did.
attacking me. And,
Yeah, he did.
and I grabbed the MacGuffin, much to the chagrin of the rogue who was right outside the
He
window.
was so pissed too.
And then-
because he had painstakingly like crawled his way across all the rooftops of this place.
And then
This fucking
yeah, and then I think and we just he just had to run. We just had to run, and people would like try to grab us, and I would just like smack them back, and we just
yeah.
escape the town.
You were just haymakering people that were grabbing at you. I'm
Yeah.
a wizard. The cleric that was with us, because me and it was Crunchy. We were in the tavern,
Yeah.
and it was just this alarm and this thing, and the outsiders. And, oh God! And I'm like, do I just set fire to everyone, or do I try to get out of here? And I was like, I guess I'm like, I think I was a lawful good, so like, I guess I can't just turn around and dump fire on these guys
So
because
good.
they're just civilians. So I bolted for the door, and we had to like lean on it so the guys in there couldn't get out. Then the cleric lost his mace because I jammed it through the goddamn handle thing of the door.
Oh, that's right. That's
So
right.
that they couldn't open it. And so Crunchy is like our cleric's just standing there with a shield, like, oh no, and I'm standing there with a stick going, I can try and scare him.
I'll spook him.
And then we just got out of there because everything had gone wrong, and our rogue just wandered across the rooftops again. So.
Yeah, but like, okay, so I mean, yes, things didn't go according to plan. However, what a good memory.
Yeah, I'll give you that. It's a story.
Yeah.
It's a D&D story that we could tell for the ages.
And it's like, a lot of D&D stories, when you get right down to it, can be very boring if people just,
Oh, if they do what they're
play
supposed
by
to.
the rules. So you gotta just,
Yeah.
gotta think outside the box.
Oh, you know who else thought outside the box, and I'm going to bring up?
Oh yeah, tell me.
The fucking Epic Store. You know what box it thought outside of? Outside of the good box.
It's straight into
God.
the bad box.
It went straight into the bad box. So I installed that today, the Epic Store thing. I literally haven't done it yet. I haven't had a need to.
Sure.
I don't have a reason. Never looked at it and bought anything on it. Never gone, yeah, cool. So I install it today.
Yeah.
And it immediately tries to push Fortnite on me. Now, the problem with this is that while it's trying to push Fortnite on me, it's having 3 or I think it was 4 different instances of saying, are you really sure that you want to allow this program to make changes to your machine?
Right.
And like, yes, just install the fucking thing. I'm trying to claim GTA 5, just install the fucking thing. And then it tries to thrust Fortnite on me, but it tries to install it in my system drive, which has not got the millions of gig of space for Fortnite. So that store is shit.
Yeah.
Especially because you can't just go into your settings. You can't go to your settings, and you can't just say, send all my games here. You got to do that game by game when you install them. And when it tries to force something on you like Fortnite, it tries to dump it in your goddamn system drive.
Yeah, Fortnite is not Fortnite. The Epic Store is not feature complete or
Very
feature
good.
ready or user ready.
Just not
It's
very good.
Pretty rubbish.
No.
And the only saving grace
Yeah.
that the whole Fortnite store has at the moment is the games. I mean, like the current free game is GTA 5. Not bad.
GTA 5.
You know, it's one of those things where I would like it if it was good. It's not. I don't really like it. I don't like using it. I have no reason to. All the
No.
games I buy, I bought 3 games on there, I think, and I ignore them because I forget I have them.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Shenmue 3 was a big deal, and I don't hear anyone talking about it because I assume that everyone like you bought it and then forgot about it because it was on the goddamn Epic Store.
We had to talk about the Epic Store just the other week, I think. And it's like one of those things where I don't agree with the situation, how they're going, hey, it's exclusive to the Epic Store. Like, immediately fuck off with that shit.
Yeah.
Everything else, I don't care about.
Yeah.
If you want to have like a competing store that gives away free stuff, fine. I want to be able to go. I prefer not to use this avenue to play my games because it's inconvenient too. Yeah.
Because it's garbage.
So, yeah.
Like, it's just
I don't know.
bad.
But also, like, on the other side, the Microsoft game store is also very shit.
That's right. You've been fighting with that on the PC.
Yeah.
haven't you?
So the other day, I thought I'm gonna play Halo, and because the there was an update that broke game mode on Windows. So if a game runs with game mode, odds are high that it's gonna just fuck your machine up and just slow everything down. And wouldn't you know it, that happened.
Right.
And my computer was running so badly, I went, fuck it, shut down. And it kind of went, something else is running in the background. Are you sure you want to shut down? And I was, hell yeah, I want to shut down. I reboot the machine, and I reboot Halo, and it goes, it's corrupted. We have to download it again. And so I go, all right, I guess. It starts to download, and then it stops at like 3%. And it goes, we tried to download it, but that was an error. And I go check the details, and it says I was not online. And I'm thinking to myself, that's not right. I'm definitely online.
Yeah, that's not right. If you logged into the store, you should be online.
I thought maybe something happened on my end. Maybe there was like a momentary connection error, and that caused to stop downloading. All right, re-download, whatever.
Yeah.
This happened like 3 different times on 3 different days. To the point, and like every time I say cancel this download and restart or whatever, it goes like, we have to delete it to do that. So I went, okay, fuck you then. I'm just buying Reach on Steam. Which is,
I was gonna say you just bought it on Steam, didn't
and
you?
it downloaded like a charm. Like I haven't actually booted it up yet because I did this yesterday. No, today.
Yeah.
I don't know. It not that long ago. And
I think I remember you telling me you were doing it last night. So.
Yeah, so I have to turn it on and check it out. But so far the experience has been way better on Steam because it's a fucking system that is built around the thing that you want it to do and has been time tested and works.
Yeah, man.
So Steamworks, GOGworks, everything else can fucking blow me.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, at this point I fully agree. Like I actually went on to Uplay the other day simply because they put out the the Assassin's Creed Ancient Egypt and Ancient Greek. You could like tour them. So from what I can tell, you download the thing and it's just like an educational.
They did that for their play at home, stay at home thing.
Yeah. And so I went and claimed that on Uplay, and just because I'm like, shit, like these like worlds that they've built in these games are amazing. As much as I'm not a big fan of in Origins, I wasn't a big fan of the gameplay. Odyssey I got to talk about. But Odyssey I've gotten used to a bit more, and I'm enjoying it a lot now. But I'm also like, I know, just because of how into this stuff I am, I look at that world and I'm like, this is so fucking accurate,
right,
for what it is. And like they've paid so much attention to detail. If they put out something like that where it's just like, just go and look at all the detail, I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm down for that. And it's free at the minute, so it's like, I'm super pumped about it. But Assassin's Creed Odyssey, man, that game is fucking eating me.
Oh yeah.
Like I am just still playing it constantly, and like I start playing it, and it's like, I'd hurt like because I'd actually stopped for a couple of days, and just because I'd started doing so, I actually started playing Ace Combat 7, which we can talk about in a bit because that's really good too.
Okay.
But I just kind of didn't play it for a couple of days, kind of tool around, and then it's I was reading about how apparently Assassin's Creed Valhalla isn't going to be as big as Odyssey because someone complained about how big Odyssey was.
Okay.
I don't see that as being a problem. Like, that to me is a bonus. If I know I'm going to get my fucking money out of a game, I'm happy about it.
I guess it depends on if the game is big, but it feels big for the sake of being large, and it's not like...
Well, that's what I was
like, is it
about to get
dense?
into. It is so dense to the point that when I jump in, I'm never finding myself looking for something to do.
Mm-hmm.
There is just... I haven't had a moment where I haven't either got a quest, there's something nearby to do, there's a quest nearby to do, there's something to fight, there's like a ship to swim down and raid, like... there's just stuff.
Yeah, okay.
All over the place.
And are the quests
just,
like... Yeah. Are they... How are their side quests? Are they kind of like formulaic?
They're varied enough. Like, they're pretty varied.
Yeah.
Like, they are... Especially because they're so... like, involved, usually. Like, one of the missions that I did just yesterday was I had to find out who this, like, crime lord guy was.
Right.
And I talked to a magistrate on this island, and I could have bypassed this altogether. I could have gone straight down to the main story marker, but I was on the way, and I'm like, no, I'm Alexios. I'm like this dude on a Greek boat, and if I was traveling this far, I'd stop to get supplies and shit. I'll stop here. I'll see what this quest is.
Mm-hmm.
And so I haven't done a main story mission for like a week because I've just been doing other stuff.
Right.
But yeah, it was like, find out who this guy is. And I heard about it because I was walking through the marketplace, and I literally just heard a conversation with the guy that gives you the quest, like talking to someone else about this garbage, blah, blah, blah. I'm supposed to collect tax stuff. And you talk to him, and then you end up talking to the magistrate, and you had a couple missions to branch off. And like, one of them was to swim just offshore and like swim down to a sunken wreck and pick up like whatever they were trying to get out of there, what this gang had like dropped in there, or their ship had sunk. Go and get that before they did. I'm like, okay, so that's one mission. By the way, fucking underwater. Why the fuck do games that I enjoy have underwater sections? I don't know. It's
because they're AAA games, and every AAA game needs to have an underwater section.
It's so frustrating, and it terrifies the shit out of me. I got eaten by a fucking shark once. It didn't help with my feelings about it. Okay.
Hey, you know what game doesn't have underwater sections?
What?
Pathfinder Kingmaker.
Pathfinder, oh, that's fair. That's pretty understandable. But yeah, so I had to do that. So I had to go and get like some stuff from a sunken wreck. I then came back up, and there was like, oh, this farmer's been being threatened by them. So I had to go and go to chat to him, but he was actually missing. So I talked to his drunk wife, and it turns out that he was like trying to avoid them to go on a trade route, but they'd managed to find him. And so then that led into some other stuff about like finding him and getting him out of a fortress, and like, you know, sneaking around a legit like kind of stronghold. And yeah, you get the guy from the fort, let him out, and then you basically have to like then go and escape him out and do the thing. But then the next mission beyond that is going and talking to this like couple that runs a Greek amphitheater, and they've got some kids there, and then they've been like paid to, you know, spread the propaganda for this guy and all this other kind of stuff. But then you got to make a bunch of choices on the way about who does this and who you try to protect from this, and whether you try to take a softer approach or whether you go fuck that guy. And it's really good, man. Yeah, it's and I actually have found that what has happened as well is that because my main issue with the game, my only real big issue, was the combat felt really floaty, like really light, and it was like too floaty and light. But I've gotten to a point in it where I've got like heavier armor and heavier weapons and stuff, and I'm actually starting to feel a lot more like the kind of character I like to play as. Yeah. So yeah, it's just Assassin's Creed Odyssey is pretty good, guys. I enjoy it.
Cool.
Do it, especially because there's boats.
I wonder why people complained about it being too big. Do you reckon that was just mostly...
Yeah, that's
I
stupid.
think that was just a lot of actual reviewers getting mad that they had to play a big game.
That was actually what I was going to say, was the only time I heard anything mentioned about it. At all. Anywhere, ever. There's two instances. One, and I'll just lump these into one, was... Yeah, some guy, I think it was a guy from Kotaku, which is, anyway, saying, yeah, it was good, but I can't believe I had to try and get through this massive game in this time frame to review it. And
I
I'm
had
so
to
fucking
review a video game. Oh,
yeah, I
it
had
was
to
my
actually do
job.
the thing
I
that I
had
was supposed to do.
I had to do my job. Yeah.
I feel like our feelings about a lot of video games journalists are suddenly appearing.
We have a lot of respect for the hardworking ladies and gentlemen at Kotaku.
Oh, oof. But them and I think the only other person I even heard mention it was that girlfriend reviews chick.
Oh yeah.
Does the YouTube videos where she hangs out with her boyfriend while he plays these games.
Yeah.
And her only real criticism then was just that she wanted to see more of the story, but he kept getting sidetracked.
Right.
So, yeah, it's... Yeah, but... Yeah, I as I've gone through the game, having everything kind of play out into itself, and I'm finding the story really good. I like being Alexios. The characters, the choices that you make actually feel like they play into the story, even if that's like a little bit subversive and they probably all lead to the same place, but it is actually just really grown on me.
Yeah, cool.
But Valhalla saying it's not going to be as big because people were mad now makes me do the thing where I'm like, but I feel like it's been a week where I've found out like a pro and a con for Valhalla coming up. Because that I feel is a con where they've gone, we're not going to make it as big and dense because it's blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But I can actually have a fucking shield in Valhalla. So it's like...
You're so easy, Nick.
The amount of fucking times in Odyssey that I'm running around, I'm like, I'm literally a Spartan descended Greek in ancient Greece. Where's my fucking shield? Like... But yeah, you're too busy. You're too busy prancing around with a spear and whatever else.
Right.
So.
Interesting.
But
I also played. I went back and played a little bit of Divinity: Original Sin 2.
I did see you playing that actually.
Yeah.
How's that going?
Yeah, it's good. Kind of.
Did you? Or am I thinking of the wrong game? Did you get past the path that we got to where we just couldn't?
We were playing Divinity Original Sin 1. So this is a different game.
Yeah.
I've had to restart because I played it when it first came out, and they since released a definitive edition.
Yeah,
which uses different save games.
Oh, different.
So you can switch between the two.
Yeah.
But I was like, screw it. I'll try the new one.
Yeah.
And see how that goes.
Might as well.
Lauren grabbed it as well, so we're gonna be playing that a bit. You don't have number 2, do you?
I have no idea. Okay, so those games and their launch and then consequent another launch with the other version and random sales and stuff, and I don't actually know which ones I have anymore because that was a while ago.
Yeah, it was a while back.
Yeah.
But like we're looking to play a game of that with another friend of ours as well, and it's like a 4th would be good.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, I can always check. I can't check right now.
Yeah,
I don't have Steam logged in, but I can always take a look.
Yeah, well, it's fine. We'll leave it for after the the podcast. No need to go
behind the scenes business right there.
Yeah. No need to create audio that I need to remove.
Listen to you, Mr. Games journalist, don't want to do work. And then suddenly here he is, trying to police the sound.
I'll give them this. I also don't want to do work. But if I can just set up a couple of things beforehand to make things easier.
If your work's playing video games, then shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's not not like unless you're relegated only to playing sports games and cars games and you hate those types of games, then you can complain. I got a new villager in Animal Crossing.
Oh, you got a villager? Oh, wait. Fucking how? My God.
Okay.
How the fuck
So-
in that fucking
so-
video game do you fucking get villager? I've got 4. You know how long I've had 4? I've had 4 since like a week after launch. And
You've only got 4?
Yeah. because I thought that you had to go to like Nook Islands and meet people, and I keep going, but there's no one there. And I'm like, how else do you do it?
You...
If you tell me to go to Nook Islands, I'm gonna fucking be real unhappy.
Alright, I'm going to scratch that off my list. Okay, how much infrastructure have you built? Because, like, as you do more things to the infrastructure of your town, more villagers show up. So, do you have an Able Sisters?
Yep.
Okay, have you built a bridge?
Yep.
You've got
Built
the
a
Nook...
couple ramps.
Yeah, you got the Nook shop. you
Nook's
built the ramp.
upgraded. Yeah.
What else is there that you need to do?
I don't know. I haven't Googled it yet because I keep forgetting about it. But you said that you had another villager and it fucking smashed it right into my brain.
So you've got 4. Did you? I can't.
Hang on, no, I
remember.
think I've got 5 because I got like the 2 that you start with,
Yeah.
and then the 3 that you build houses for.
Right. Have you built a campsite yet?
No.
Build a campsite. So what happens is you
Okay.
build a campsite, and then a villager visits the campsite, and you have to have that guy come into your town. So if he's shit, sorry. And then after you've done that, you can then go back to your island hopping ways and find castaways.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I guess I'll
And so
see how to make a campsite. Is a campsite like a specific thing that you craft?
yeah,
Or is it
no,
like-
you pay like 40,000 bells or some shit like that to Tom Nook, and he gives you it's basically
Ugh.
like you build a house again, but it's a
Yeah.
campsite. So
Well, that's not too bad.
no, it's not bad. It's not
realistically.
that bad. And so
I actually have a space. Because I've actually I've spent a lot of work like on my town,
yeah,
just blocking out where I want everything
yeah.
and how I kind of want everything to go for the foreseeable future.
You're right.
To the point where I've got a playground.
Yep.
But it's just that's it.
Yeah. So I think
can't get
I think Tom mentions that like we'll have to build a campsite and stuff so other people can enjoy the magical land of Shubi or Radland. And
Yeah.
I guess he said that to you at one point, and then it just, you know.
I was too busy screaming, "Fuck off, Tom Nook! I'm trying to finish my museum."
Yeah, and you just didn't understand the importance of what he was telling you. But yeah, once you build that thing, like people will come and visit your island from time to time, and you can potentially recruit them to come into your village. But
For the cause.
the way that I've got it set up at the moment is that I had the maximum villages I could get, and I had a
Right.
couple that I just like not that fond of, whatever, and.
Yeah.
Every now and then, the only way to get a new villager is either have like a villager leave, and ones that I liked wanted to leave, so I just kept them. So it's just been, you know,
Yeah.
all the houses have been full, and then all the
Yeah.
other villagers who showed up in the tent have been just not great. So I was like, nah, it's okay. And so, but what happened was like today I walk in and there's this little fucking duck called Molly. And I'm like, that's fantastic. What a cool little guy. And so she's going to be replacing Tammy, who was one of my starting villagers. And goodbye, Tammy. You're being replaced with a duck.
You've been replaced with a duck.
Yeah. So
Go
that's
suck
good.
a bag of chode. Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like I got like a rough hand when I made my village the first time around. Like the starting ones, I didn't like them at all. It was just like this situation where I'm kind of going,
See, my 2 starter villages are actually my favorites. Can't remember their names. Their names
Did you
are
get
gone.
Dom?
They're dead to me. Yes. Yeah, I got Dom. He's there hanging out, talking to me about squats all the time and shit.
Yeah.
And I got
Was
like
he your starter?
And I got a yellow rabbit, looks like dressed like a superhero. So I'm just like, this is fine.
That's pretty good.
All this is fine. I'm not gonna lie, the aesthetic that I kind of been going for with my village anyway is like more wild space than anything. So you can fuck that suburbia shit right off. Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I'm also just like, I kind of need more villages to keep getting shit done. So it's like...
Yeah. Build a tent,
Yeah.
and that will kickstart your villager intake again.
Yeah.
So yeah, oh jeez, I can't believe you have. It's been so long and you've still only got 5.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Because I thought that I just had to go to islands and find people wandering around, but
nah. You also get, if someone moves out, you then, once they leave, you can then go to the island, and if you don't go to the islands and find a new villager, someone in a tent will pop up, and they will just be the guy that you have to have.
Ugh.
So, yeah, it's...
That's gotta be brutal. You're gonna end up with like a Doberman that has an incest fetish or something.
It's okay. I got Shep, who he's just like this sheepdog with, you can't see his eyes, so he's pretty decent. He seems pretty cool.
You can't see his shifty little eyes.
Yeah, his shifty eyes. I might give him some sunglasses or something. So
probably not a bad idea. So yeah, he at least looks like he's supposed to exist.
Yeah, but yeah, that's kind of. I've been looking for a new villager for ages, so it's nice that I finally got one who's pretty cool. I've also got like 2 mice, and so I want one of them to leave.
Yeah.
And it's like one that I'm like, I like you better from a design standpoint, and then this other one's like, it's just like, I think they're just the normal, what is it? Personality type. Name's Dora, and she's got like a weird Sonic the Hedgehog side mouth, which freaks me out. But like, she keeps sending me like these really nice letters and telling me I deserve nice things.
Oh, really?
And so I'm like,
yeah, you got to keep the gift giver. Like, realistically, it's Animal Crossing. It's about stuff.
I mean, she doesn't even really give gifts.
Stuff.
She just keeps saying nice things to me, and it's like,
Oh.
you're really sweet, but if you say I want to leave, I'm not going to stop you. You know.
But just so you know, I'm not going to tell you to stay.
Yeah.
Just chucking it out there.
Just like, I've got like Chief, who's a fox, and I might tell him it's okay to leave because Lauren also has him in his town. So it's like, I can see you whenever I want, fine. Chief, you know? So, I don't know. There's like, basically, like, so my 2 starters were like Coach and Tammy, and they can both leave, really. Like, that's fine by me. Coach is kind of okay now since I gave him like a caveman outfit.
You will be at the start of the journey. You will not be here at the end.
You voted off the island, Coach. But I gave him like a Fred Flintstone onesie, and so he kind of looks cooler to me now.
Oh, jeez. Is he the one that looked like a weird pedo? I can't remember.
Yeah, he's the one who's clearly a pervert.
He looked like... Yeah, he looked like he touched people when they didn't want it.
Yeah, he's a pervert, and I got Philbert, who's a weirdo. It got.
I'm not gonna lie. This is like a whole new world to me with the fact that the personality types for these NPCs are catalogued, and everyone's like so distinct with them. They're like Pokemon types now.
Yeah.
Because way back in the day when I started playing Animal Crossing on the GameCube, it was just like, you've got Barry, cool. You'd actually eventually, usually, if they hung around long enough, just choose their catchphrases. So the amount of like guys running around yelling "dicks" and stuff like that was fucking horrendous.
Yeah, you still get that in this, I believe, but it takes longer to actually get them to change their catchphrase.
Yeah,
or nicknames for you.
But it wasn't like a specific thing where like you got a guy and it wasn't like, oh, he's sassy. It wasn't like that. It was just that's that animal. That's what that animal is.
I think they always had distinct personality types, but people weren't so insane that they would like rank them all together like they have now in the age of the internet. So it's just become like kind of a layer has been peeled away from the veneer that is the Animal Crossing Coach.
Animal Crossing.
But yeah, so people have everyone categorized. Everyone really likes Raymond for some reason.
Which one's that one?
He's the cat.
Is that the one with the douchebag haircut?
I don't know.
I don't know.
He's a glasses cat who has 2 different color eyes, and people like putting him in a maid outfit.
Yeah.
People fucking.
I don't know.
Him.
See, people fucking love him, but I saw like just a photo of him or a screenshot of him, and I was like, that cat looks like a fucking prick. So
yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't see
I haven't
the.
met him yet, though.
I guess if you get him though, like you can just use that to lord it over other people.
Well, I mean, I guess it's one of those things like he's got 2 different colored eyes. It's special.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I don't know. I guess it all comes down to personal preference. Like people were also talking about how much they really liked Roscoe, and I saw a picture of him, and it's like I understand he looks fucking dope.
Yeah, he looks cool. That's the difference.
But
there.
yeah, I don't know the Raymond thing. He is a cat.
One thing I'm not happy with Animal Crossing about is the fact that it fucking killed the live Pokemon community. It just shot it.
Yeah.
Like I 1 week I'm playing, what is it, Shield?
Yeah.
1 week I'm playing Shield and I'm running through the wildlands and it's fucking packed.
Yeah.
There's motherfuckers everywhere. Everyone's trying to catch dittos and shit or whatever's out there at the moment. Everyone's running around going, I can fucking do this. Animal Crossing hits. It's been what, like a month?
Yeah.
Nearly? It's been like a month. Pokemon, still dead.
Yeah.
There is no one. That is an empty plateau.
I think they just released like Gigantamax Pikachu though, so maybe.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They released a bunch of shit over the last couple of weeks of like Gigantamax versions of a bunch of different things, and this thing's more common, and those over there happen more often.
Yeah, I should.
There's a better reward for
I
this,
should check.
but everyone's too busy fucking Animal Crossing shit up.
Yeah.
And it's like, I understand it, but also, come on, guys, divide your time.
I want more people in my game.
Like, I just, yeah, that was one of the bonuses of getting this version of Pokemon was that they actually had some kind of online functionality thing
Well,
at all.
now that you've
like this.
now that you are looking at building yourself a new machine, you've got your computer back, you're online again. Have you considered looking into Temtem?
No, no, I haven't actually.
Because
I forgot
that is
that
just
was
a
even
Pokemon
a thing
MMO.
until you mentioned it just then.
Right.
I remember hearing a lot about it for ages, but
Hmm.
it hasn't even entered my brain
Okay.
personally.
Just wondered.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I was sort of
Yeah.
thinking about it, but it was around like $40. It was in early access, and I thought, nah.
Oh yeah, you don't really want to pay $40 for early access. I as much as I like supporting things that are in early access and stuff like that look good, I will admit that no matter how good it looks, I look at, and if it's like anything above $20, I'm like,
Yeah, there's like the odd game here or there that I'm like, yeah, all right, I'll pay a little extra because I'm really excited for it and I want to support
Yeah,
the
you're
developed
super
ones. Where it's
pumped
like, nah, that's full price for an unfinished game. I'm not. Why
Yeah,
jump
exactly.
in now when I can wait for the product to be finished? And if I
Yeah.
do jump in now and the product is never finished, then I feel like I've been, shat upon.
Then
So
yeah,
yeah.
you've received the poopies, as it were.
I mean,
if
there
that
are some
happens, so
games where it's like, when it comes out full price, it's very expensive. Like I was looking at what was it, Deep Rock Galactic, that dwarf game, where that's like
yeah.
$40-$50 now that it's actually out.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez, because we I think we bought it on the Xbox, didn't we? For like what?
About $20, $25.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe $20.
Oh, I think it was either 25 or 30. I reckon. I think it might have been $29.
I can't even remember.
But that was also in early access. Like they said, like this is
That
an
was
early
also what I
development
was
game.
thinking. Like this was
So we pay a little bit of money for that, play it, and then the new version comes out, and it's the final version or it's the release version, and they've got it on full price. So I'm happy that we got it when we did. But yeah, like so sometimes it works out. Like I don't know about Risk of Rain 2. I think that's early access. That's one.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I think so.
See, I've still never played it. I've got it sitting there
Oh,
in
shit.
like a million different lists. But I just,
do you-
I think I've installed it even.
Oh, dude.
I just haven't played it.
Motherfucker, we're gonna play that right after this.
I just, it's been there.
Yeah.
Because I think I installed it after, I think someone else we were talking to was like, Risk of Rain, Risk of Rain. And I was like, what is it? And no one ever told me.
Oh, well, I'll fucking show you, my dude.
And then I think it came up on, maybe a Humble Bundle or something?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just know that I ended up with a copy somehow.
It might have
on
got
my Steam
It
list.
may have been gifted to you actually, because when
And
Risk of
it's
Rain,
very possible.
when it first dropped, Josh and I were playing it, and it was like I think you could buy.
Now that you've mentioned, I remember pretty clearly you and Josh were playing it. You sent it to me.
Yeah, I think you could buy it and get like a gift bundle. So it was like just buy one, get like 2 other copies or 3 other copies.
Get more.
And so
giggles,
I think I was feeling generous, and I got a copy for you, and I think I got a copy for Lauren. Dave might have it. I wonder if Dave has it. I don't know. I can't remember.
I don't know.
But yeah. So
yeah, I mean, I've got it installed and everything. I've just never played
I totally forgot that I gave you that. Yeah, shit. Yeah, no, we're playing that today. Easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. And is there anything else been going on in the exciting world of video games with Nick?
I'm okay. We're probably going to talk about this on the main show, but I am just going to put out there right now, just in case I forget, because I want to make sure that everyone humanly possibly knows, is that I think it's set for June 11th. There is a Cyberpunk 2077. I think it's called Night City Wire.
Oh.
Something like that. And it's I'm pretty keen for it. I don't think there's going to be a ton of stuff that we don't already know, but from what I can gather, CD Projekt Red are basically putting out the stuff that they were gonna have at E3 then, in like their own show. And
nice.
So I mean, I'm keen. I'm super keen. Like I'm genuinely. There's not a lot of games that I'm excited for coming up this year, other than Cyberpunk. That's really it. I'm not. There's nothing coming up on my radar. So at the moment, I'm a little bit like, look, Assassin's Creed Valhalla has me interested. And I'll see how it goes when it comes out. But like Cyberpunk 2077, I'm actively waiting for. And yeah, apparently this is going to be a bit of an event. Like it's going to be good.
Oh man,
like just showcase. I think.
I am so hyped for Cyberpunk.
I am a little bit
chomping at the bit for it.
Torn. I just remembered that I was going to mention this. I know what you're going to say. I know exactly what your answer is going to be. So I'm just going to go through this first, and then you're going to tell me. But
okay.
I'm like kind of doing that thing at the moment where I'm like, look, every now and then I look at my Xbox and I'm like, I should just do the pre-order now, just to get it, so that when it comes up on the pre-install, it just pushes it to my console. And then when it is good to play, I can just play it. At the same time, I'm like, but I'm probably building a PC. If I can get around to it, I don't actually know. I haven't set a hard timeline. I just know what I want to build and about how much it's going to cost.
Yep.
And so I kind of did that thing today, though, where I was on GOG, and I was just like, maybe I should just do it here. I don't fucking know. And so I don't know what platform I'm going to go on. It apparently has some kind of multiplayer component, maybe.
Right.
But they haven't said what.
Yep.
So I'm just like, I don't know.
Okay.
One way even do.
And so, what do you think I'm going to say?
You're going to tell me to just get it on GOG. Because GOG's good and DRM free.
Okay, that's part of what I'm going to say. But I'm also going to say, don't pre-order it. Like,
really?
Just, wait that shit out. Like, if you're not sure if you're going to have a PC, like, I think your PC will run it right now, but if you're thinking about building a new machine that's going to run a game like that at, like, really good graphics with resolution and frame rate, wait it out, and then when the game drops, you can get it.
I have to poke on the fact that you said resolution and frame rate. I like those.
Resolution and frame rate.
Yeah.
Get all the good things.
Just break it down.
Like, fucking absolutely get it on that. But if the time comes and you're stuck with, like, you just have your ratty old Xbox and you're like, there's nothing else I can really play this on, then grab it for that.
It's an X, so.
Yeah. Just grab it for that.
Oh man, how weird are you about fucking... So this is totally offside and way off kilter. How weird are you about, I can't remember who it was, but they were like, yeah, the PS5's SSD is way better than anything you can buy for a high-end PC. How do you feel about that?
What?
Yeah.
I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, I think it was a guy from Epic when they did the Unreal thing the other day, that like what they pretended was a gameplay reveal thing, but it was just the engine thing.
Yeah, they did like an engine demo. I know that.
Yeah, they did that engine demo, but after that, one of the guys from Epic was like, yeah, the PS5's SSD is better than anything you can get on the market right now for a high-end PC. Does that seem
like dick
fucking
sucking.
weird? Yeah. Like, how much
Yeah.
does that sound like he's just like, I've been told to say it's good and I like the SSD.
I wonder
Like,
what
that
Linus
just-
Tech Tips has to say about this.
I am sure. I am like almost 100% positive that if he hasn't already done a video on just the fact that you can just probably buy that one for your PC to put in now, like that there's probably some other one that's been released since then. So it's like, it's just it was such a weird thing to hear. Like, it's just,
I mean, but you get this shit every time a new console comes out. They're like,
Yeah,
oh, it's
yeah.
incredible. Like, PCs can't do this shit. And they're like,
No.
yeah, if it's your grandma's PC.
yeah, if it's yeah. Well, that's the thing too. Like, I feel this thing coming out, like and I've said it before a bunch of times. For me, my playing games on console is a mix between the exclusives that pop on there and the community that I'm involved with. Like, the people that I know and play games with. I know a lot of people that play games on the Xbone. So I picked up an Xbone and I kept going on the Xbone. And that's kind of it. I'm not going to pretend it's some kind of fucking blows my PC out of the box wonder machine. Like, but it's just fun and it's there and it's an interface I like and it's fine. It's good. And I don't understand that every console gen where they're just like, you don't understand. And the problem is that I know people, like, 'cause I'm not right into the PC hardware. I'll follow it a little bit. I'm not like, Josh or whatever, like anyone on that level that's just like, I know this thing means this. But it is one of those weird things where I look at it and I'm like, yeah, okay, that looks like, high-end PC games from like a couple years ago that they're showing off. And like, they're showing that off as their thing. So I'm like, yeah, that's kind of what you expect from a box that's built for you to just chuck under your TV that your kids will play.
Right.
Yeah, I don't get that weird, like, fanaticism about them.
Yeah, it's crazy because, like, the thing about with console gaming is that, like, it can never keep a pace. So it's gotta stop being like, PCs, they're finally dead forever. Now that we've got the PS5 or the Xbox Next Box or whatever the fuck it's called, and it's like, shut up. Like, all you need to fucking do is go, it looks a bit better. Everything runs at least 60 minimum. I feel like that should be the benchmark.
Yeah, now that should be a benchmark, yeah.
Like, everything runs at 60 minimum and input is good, so it's gonna feel nice to play.
Yeah.
Like, and just go. Make an appealing piece of hardware with games that people want to play. Like, look at what the Switch has done.
Yeah.
Like, it's underpowered as fuck. My phone is more powerful than a Switch, and yet it's still great. You don't need to cram all, like, obviously the more horsepower your machine has to work with, the better, because you can push things. But
yeah, you can push things with that. Yeah.
But I feel like when we're at this point where it's like, consoles will only be able to be cutting edge for the first 6 months that they're out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stop trying to fucking tell us it's gonna change our lives.
Yeah.
Because it's not. Just make the games smooth to play. That is my biggest issue I've had with the this last generation for the final half of it, is they keep pushing out these games.
When they do like the X and the Pro and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like and then you get like these other games where it's like, they're really, really beautiful and they really push the graphics, but they handle like fucking molasses.
Yeah.
And then you have to do a hardware upgrade for them to even be bearable. And it's just not cool, Yeah,
I will chuck out there now that I do feel like this gen handled it a lot better than the previous. Because when you were getting to the end of the 360 era, I think it was specifically, it was Thief, that Thief game that came out around that time. That came out on the 360 and the VHS Xbone, the big Xbone. And you did not want to play that on the 360. It was fucking garbage. The frame rate was nothing. It was just chunky as shit. You're supposed to be this fast, agile thief, but you feel like you're just trudging through mud. And so like that hit the 360 first, and then I think like a little bit later got a release on the Xbox. But
Yeah.
that to me was like a prime example of what you're talking about with that second half of the gen thing, where they're just like, no, we need to push it, but it's not actually an upgrade, it's just a push.
Yeah, we can't push it. Like,
Yeah.
this is as far as it goes. And particularly when we've got games that we're talking about, like cross-generational games. Like those you notice that they get hit really hard.
Yeah.
But I think Valhalla, like they're talking about having that for,
that.
you know, the next generation.
Yeah.
And they're going, yeah, we're aiming for 30 frames a second.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
How
Are you
weird
kidding
is
me with
that? Like,
shit?
I will fully admit that I can deal with 30 frames fine. Like that doesn't faze me. But it does seem like that is a weird decision to make at this point in time. And did you see their reasoning for that actually?
Was it so that they could individually render every hair on your head or some bullshit?
Pretty much.
Some
They just
graphical
decided
bullshit?
that they were like, nah, it's fine at 30 because we want to make it prettier.
Yeah, fuck that.
And you're just like, huh?
Graphics are nice, but they should be secondary to gameplay.
Yeah, it's secondary to gameplay. It always is, without
Yeah.
any fucking like hint of irony or sarcasm or anything. You can give me a game that looks like shit, but if it plays fucking amazingly and I have a lot of fun,
Yeah.
I'm right there. So it's just
Yeah.
I saw that too, and like I said, even primarily being like fairly console based at the minute, I was just like, what are you fucking doing?
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. And I guess like that's the nice thing about the openness of playing a game on a PC is just like, I boot up the game, it's not running great. I can go in and I can turn off shit that I don't like or I don't feel like I need, and I can prioritize gameplay over graphics.
Yeah.
Or if I've got like some, if I got a Death Wish in a multiplayer game, I can like crank all the graphics and run around at 15 frames, but wow, it's good.
The best example of this, I feel, is do you remember what would happen at like Quake 3 tournaments where you'd see those guys that like the textures were all turned to like mud?
Nothing. There was nothing. So like there was no visual interference. You would always see when a dude hopped around a corner, like bunny hopped around, and then they were nuts.
Yeah.
People running their games at like fucking like frame rates that their monitors couldn't handle.
Their monitors couldn't handle at the time because they had just turned everything down to the minimum.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I remember that shit.
But that is like I think back to that every time this stuff comes up. I'm just like, I saw guys look at effectively like clay models from a preschool shoot each other because they knew it played better.
Yeah.
Like, that's how much you need to worry about the fact that your gameplay matters.
Gameplay is king.
Yeah.
You know, and reaction time matters. I mean, it is one thing to go compare a competitive game to an Assassin's Creed game.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
But at the same time, or a competitive game to a single player game, I should say. I shouldn't just single out Assassin's Creed. But it's one of those things where when a game runs buttery smooth, it makes such a huge difference. You know, if you go like playing Devil May Cry 5, right?
Yeah.
That has such a well optimized engine that
Right.
didn't matter like what my settings were. It was always above 60.
Yeah.
But
yeah, nice.
like I'm playing that game and I'm going, just imagine if we were stuck playing this thing at 30 frames. And I'm pretty sure that on console it is a constant 60. Like, because they know how
I was gonna say,
that frame rate is.
I'm pretty sure I remember hearing that it was set at a 60 for the console version. So.
Yeah. Now, see, if we're talking about movies, like frame rate doesn't fucking matter at all. Like, yeah. But like, I see people get confused where they go like, the animation is only playing at 25 frames a second on this anime, so I'm going to get a filter that will interpolate all of the animations to make it, in fact, 80 frames a second, and it looks like shit.
Yeah.
And
I was waiting to see where you went, and I was like, he went to the right place. Good. It's there.
Yeah. It's like there is a difference between like simply watching and
playing,
doing and reacting.
Yeah, like what your actions, in a game with how your actions translate and the frames there is just so different from, like you said, just watching something that you aren't trying to partake in. And
Yeah.
so
Absolutely.
and I actually kind of have that thinking too, that I don't think some people that are vying for higher frame rates in games, like some of them, I don't think understand that either. I think they just don't understand not having a higher number. So I feel like there's a lot of for not wanting to sound like a fucking douchebag, but I feel like there is a bit of a lack of education in that department in some places.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Yeah, there is.
but yeah, I gameplay.
Yeah.
Just do it, man. Just
Absolutely.
gameplay. Just fucking worry about it.
And I think like part of the reason why like at the moment I find it so hard to just play anything on my console is that I'm used to playing stuff at about 90 frames on average, and everything to be like the actual size of my monitor. So it's all, everything's nice and crisp, everything's responsive. It's so good that going back is like, how do I do this? I feel weird. I feel out of my element. And I am really scared that the next lot of consoles are also going to go, you know what? It's just going to be prettier. It's still going to be running at like a shit frame rate.
Well, I feel like that's going to depend so much on the developers. Just so much on the guys actually
absolutely,
making
because
the game.
I know that Microsoft have been talking about how they want to have everything hit like a 60 frames per second frame rate at least.
Yeah.
But then you got third-party developers like, no, we want it to look nice for screenshots so people will buy it because I think the graphics look great.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate.
Well, that's
it's doing a disservice.
That's the thing. Like, I know, like Odyssey, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, that runs higher than 60 on my One X.
Yeah.
I know that does because I've captured some video of it, just sticking around, trying to see how that worked. And yeah, I know for a fact that was consistently running, I think, for me at about 74 on my One X. And that was in combat, that was at sea. It was great, right? It was good. So
yeah.
And that, I think, is one of the reasons why the game, even though it has a little bit of like those failings of the combat, it still feels fine. Like, it's fine.
Sure.
It's just, you can tell it's a problem with the mechanics, not a problem with the flow. If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that like this gen, I feel like is this gen, like I said, I think has handled it better than the last gen, with it coming to the end of its lifespan. Because it kind of did what a lot of people did with the GameCube back in the day, where you saw leaps and bounds with like graphical fidelity, and it's still holding a consistent frame rate on the GameCube. That was something that like we just didn't expect. Like, that was when Resident Evil 4 hit, and that was like, oh shit, it looks like that at the time.
Right.
Obviously it hasn't aged amazingly now. But back
it hasn't aged poorly though.
Yeah, it's
like,
not bad.
I think Resident Evil 4 still looks great.
Yeah, it's not bad. But yeah, I feel like this gen's handled it well. But I feel like this is all part of that new console hype. That like, no, check it out. And like you said, that those third party guys just going, but what about pretty? And
yeah. Look, we've hit this point where even if they've got like really pretty graphics and stuff like that, I'm just not as excited about the new consoles as I was about, say, like around like the PS2 to the PS3, the Xbox to the Xbox 360.
Yeah.
Those felt like such humongous.
Oh yeah, they were massive.
And then you kind of went like from 360 to Xbox One, and it was like, it was a jump, but it wasn't a leap. And we're going into this new generation, and I'm like, I don't know, guys. I don't feel like there's anything that like you could really show me that will make me go, this is a day one purchase for me.
Yeah.
Because we're reaching such parity at the moment with stuff that like maybe like a super souped up new PlayStation or Xbox would be about as powerful as my PC.
Yeah.
And that's great. But I'm not like going like, oh, holy shit, you kidding me? For that price? Wowee!
Well, that's the other thing too, is that they're doing at the moment, is that what I'm seeing this gen as well is people going, have you seen how many flops it got? Can it look good? And I'm like, motherfucker, every generation of consoles that survives on their library, not their fucking
yeah,
digits.
Absolutely.
So it's
yeah. But on that note, on every console survives on its library note, I think we should take off, dude.
Yeah, I gotta go and find some fucking dinner.
Yeah, we've chewed the fat enough.
Yeah.
We should play some fucking Risk of Rain 2.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. You've been great. And I've been Jamie.
I've been Nick.
Thanks for listening to the podcast. Can I do that again?
That sounded like a struggle, so yeah, feel free.
Fuck it.